you have a life to live, and so do I. My, don't let, not getting to a message soon enough take you away from living your life. I tell it, it's okay. It's okay not to respond right away. You have issues, I have issues. We have to be. And you know what's crazy? I don't take my own advice, because when you were saying, when you were closing with "be yourself" as we're saying goodbye to they're saying bye to the audience, I've told her that several times. I won't take my own advice to be myself, and yet I have the audacity and the nerve to turn around and tell someone else, "Hey, be yourself," when I can't even be myself anymore. That the enthusiastic, happy, fun person I speak. Okay.
To counter that, you said any more. You can still be that person. You can still be who you want to be. You can take your advice. You can do all these things. Sometimes when, like, we were talking before, a long time ago, in the car, I know I didn't take my own advice. I sometimes still don't. But what really matters is that you acknowledge it.
Yes.
If you don't acknowledge that you're not taking your own advice, nothing's going to change. And you also have to acknowledge what other people notice, what other people see. You may not see yourself, you may not, want to see it, but it's there. You're a great guy. You're cool to talk to, you're helpful. You let people know that everything's going to be okay, but you don't see that in yourself.
No, I don't.
And you need to. You are your biggest fan. You are your biggest hater.
Yes.
Which one are you going to let take over? Do you want to live a life of just hating the world because you don't see what they see in you? Or are you going to get on their side and see what they see?
Right.
A lot of the time, I know I don't take this advice, but a lot of the time that I hate myself, you know what I go do?
What?
I go look in the mirror. I look at how much I hate myself, but I look at how much people say I'm a good person. I look at how people see me versus how I see myself. A lot of the time, other people see you for you more than you do.
That's scary.
Because when you get clouded, when you cloud your brain with, oh, I didn't do this right, or I fucked this up, or I don't know if I'm going to do this right, or I don't know if I should say this, or I'm angry and I just don't know why. It's all coming to you. And that can be a slippery slope that a lot of people don't come out of. I know I had a hard time coming out of it just now.
Yes.
I was angry. I did things I shouldn't have. I said things that I felt.
Right.
But to not be able to say those things would have been worse.
Right.
To not say those things would have been worse. To everybody that I don't know, I want them to be happy. To everybody I do know, I want them to be happy. I help people. But you know what I always say? You know, one positive thing that I've been saying since forever, even though I've never gotten anything in return
What's
that I thought I never got in return.
What?
The help you give comes back to you tenfold. You may not get it now. You may not get it when you need it, but you'll get it.
Right.
And you getting me to realize that I was being given something back. Appreciation, love, all of those things, even though I didn't see it, I was getting it back. I was too concerned about the visible things that I could get back.
Yeah.
When I should have been focusing on the things that I could feel I was getting back.
Right.
And when you're depressed, because I was depressed, I was hurt, everything. When you are depressed, it's hard to see it.
Yes.
When you're upset, it's hard to see it. But it's there. You may be a little numb. You may be a little cold. But there's always someone who's gonna have a fire. There's always someone who's gonna have a light. There's always someone there. You may not know them. You may not be friends with them. You may not... you may not even like them. But people recognize pain. And a lot of the time, even the people that hate you, or you hate, help. Understand. They have similar situations, or something. And people that go through similar things help and can give you a better understanding of what to do better.
Yeah, I hope that I challenge both of us to pick up the phone one day, be it right now, at some point tonight or tomorrow, within the week, but I challenge us to pick up the phone and call someone who we may not even want to talk to and tell them something positive.
Yeah, that's a good place to start.
I think that is a good step towards learning how to forgive ourselves and other people. Because I told Keisha this, and maybe it was to impress her, I don't know, but I know that I'm like a judge. I hold grudges. I hold grudges toward people and forever, and sometimes I don't even know it. So the superpower I want is to forgive. Is to learn how to forgive, because if I learn how to forgive, my heart won't be so cold. I won't turn bitter and sour like how my dad doesn't want me to be. Because my dad, through heartbreak, through rejection, through those things, he let it affect him in such a way that it changed who he was as a person. I still think my dad is good. There's good somewhere in his heart somewhere. He just doesn't realize it.
I told my ex this. I think I told her. I might have said it in my head, but I thought I told her. Trauma turns you into the person that you don't want to be.
Yes.
Pain turns you into someone that you don't like, and you end up hating yourself. How you react to trauma decides who you are.
Yes.
How you react can condense and build walls, or it can free them.
Yes.
And my ex a long time ago left me for her boss.
Yeah.
And I think I told you about that one. You know, I know things without having to be told. I know when things are going to happen. I know when people are lying to me. It's a very strong feeling that I have. Do I understand why? No. I just know. I can read people and know what's going on without having to.
Yeah.
I can be random person based on how they text someone, how they talk about someone. I can understand what's going on. And I watched as she fell in love with her boss. She told me that she felt the same way about him that she felt about me. And I reacted in probably not such a great way. You know, I should have been angry. I should have been, you know, yelling and upset. But you know what I did?
What?
I said, I can't be mad at you for feeling how you feel. I can't be mad at you for having your own emotions. I can't be mad at you for what I cannot control. Because this is you. And I want to say that don't get mad at someone for feeling the way they do. Because like I said, things change. Things get rough. Things get confusing. The only person that you need to control is yourself.
Right.
You can show someone how much you love them, and they may not see it yet. They may not understand that they hurt you, or that they hurt themselves, or that some choice was wrong. You can't force people to see that. You have to let them see themselves. And that includes with yourself. You have to take control of how you react. Do something that you like. Go talk to someone that you may not know but may have good advice. But never take someone's advice for certain. Never take someone's advice as fact.
Right.
Never let someone's advice control your emotions, because then that's not your feelings, that's theirs.
Okay.
Projecting someone else's feelings on yourself it isn't going to benefit you. And I heard this quote a lot. The people that mind don't matter, and the people that matter don't mind. So what I see in that is, if you say that you're hurt, someone who doesn't matter is gonna say like the typical things, you know, oh, don't do that, you know, that's not okay, just feel better, just be happy. They don't matter. That advice doesn't matter. What matters is the people that say, let's go do something, let's talk, let's do something you like, let's sit around and watch movies, let's do something. The people that matter know what to do. And no matter what you say, if you say something wrong, they might get angry, they might get frustrated or hurt, but they stay because they matter, because you matter. If they get hurt and they leave and they say they don't ever want to talk to you again, they don't matter because they never cared in the first place.
Right.
The people that care don't just leave you because you're feeling some sort of way. And that goes with love. If you tell someone you love them and they get upset and leave, is talking about, forgot her name. Denise. When you told her that you liked her more than just a friend, she got mad and she left. She doesn't matter. If she mattered, she wouldn't have left. If you mattered to her, she wouldn't have left. If you tell someone how you feel and they leave, they aren't worth having. And yeah, I understand that other people have, they have their things they're things going on in their lives, but that doesn't give them the right to discredit other people's lives, to discredit other people's feelings. And when you do that, it makes the other person feel like they're not worth. But that's not the case. They're very much worth everything. And but some people need space. Communication is good, but some people need space. And for the people that are communicators, you have to let people have space. You have to let the people that need space have space. I made that mistake. I was bad at letting people have space. I was pushy. I'm like you. When I wanted something, I tried to hold on to it, and because of my abandonment issues, my depression, my anxiety, everything.
Yes.
But all I was doing was holding a fake hand and pushing them away with the other. I was holding on to the thought and not to them.
So
When you hold on to the thought of having someone around, you lose the person themselves.
say that one more time for the listeners.
When you hold on to the thought, you end up pushing the other person away. When you hold on to the thought of having someone around, you lose them in the present because you're more concerned about thinking about having them around than having them around.
So with this girl Kasia, my last message to her was, my gut feeling is that you need space right now. I said I had more to say in that message, but to continue seeking to be an honorable man and a man in general, to truly fulfill that, even though I want to text her right now, I want to call her right now, I want to see her right now, I have to honor that. I have to honor what I said. If I don't, she's going to lose respect for me, and you know what's going to happen? I will push her away. So when I say, and I don't know how much space she needs, I don't know how much time has to pass until we're both ready for each other to come back into each other's lives.
You can be ready as long as possible, but you have to wait for the other person to be ready.
How do you know when the other person is ready?
When they say it.
So, can I read my last message to you?
Sure.
Okay. And for the listeners, this is for you too. This, wherever my phone has gone to. Oh. It was right there in front of us, ladies and gentlemen.
But I also have one thing.
Yes.
For those people out there, don't bite the hand trying to help you. I get things there's some things that you need to do yourself. There's some things that you need to work on yourself. But you are one person. Accept help when it is given. Accept help when it is needed. I watch so many people try and just help themselves. Or they say, I got this. I was one of them. When you realize that people actually want to help and they go out of their way to try and help, accept that help. That is genuine help. It's not for them, it's not for you. It's just help.
You know what? So there's a book that Kasia bought called Spiritual Growth, and I don't know why I did it. And so I wanted to see her, she wanted to see me, and she let me come to her work, and I think this is kind of romantic and it feels really good. She took the time out of her day, out of her shift, to sit with me and talk. And even though she had to work, she'd get up, she'd do her thing, she'd come back, she'd check on me, we'd talk. But she showed me a book called Spiritual Growth, and I started reading it. And so I kind of want to I really want to buy the book series for this, not just for her, but for me too. And we both have a really nasty habit of getting books and not reading them, but
Do you see in this mirror?
yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, in this mirror there are 12, 20 books, maybe more than that.
Oh, there's 2 shelves.
2 shelves of books, and maybe none of them, or some of them, have been touched. And
actually, you want to know something interesting?
What's that?
I've read every single one of those.
Nice.
Once. One time. I read the book and put it down, and I was just like, meh.
Will you ever pick them back up?
Maybe. When the time's right.
You know, I am more concerned with helping people in the long term and not just the short term, and that's why I want to buy those books for both of us.
But this is the thing. The short-term help turns into long-term.
Exactly.
You can't discredit short-term things. You know, taking someone hiking, giving them their favorite book, buying them their favorite thing, buying something for them that they haven't had in forever that brings back good memories. Those little things help in the long run. It's like Legos. You can't just put one block and expect it to be finished. You can't put one block and a block here and a block here and a block here. You're missing the big picture. You get little bits and pieces. You have to help in every single little block. Put the time, put the effort until you get that final product. Not saying people are products, but you get that final, I'm better.
And that's what I want to invest towards, and I think through buying the other books to complete the series, and I do have her address, and maybe it'd be stepping up, over boundaries by buying it and sending it to her address, but it's not about taking credit for it.
Don't send it. Take that credit. Take the credit. Hand it to her personally. So many people just send things to people without seeing the emotion behind it. Like you said, people are just stuck on their phones, buying and sending things to people, texting people. Do it in person.
Okay. Because even though I just want to invest in both of our futures, and I think by buying this book series, now it's going to be totally up to her whether she wants to pick up that book and read it. But I at least want to have known that I made an effort towards helping her in the long term, towards bettering her mental health.
But this comes back to why we're doing this.
Yes.
What about you?
I will buy the book series for me too, and I will grow by reading these books to be the best versions of myself, not just for me, but so that when someone needs help or when help is in front of me, I can take it, or that person can take the help. Because sometimes when we're clouded and we want to help someone, we're not helping them. We might be hurting them. And when, like I said earlier, sometimes ready is too late. But how true is that? You know, because when we're talking about who's the right person, isn't everyone potentially the right person? What makes someone not the right person? And there are exceptions. Don't get me wrong, there are exceptions. But I think people give up too easily.
No, but I think you're right. I think everyone is the right person for someone. It's a matter of whether you want to work to make yourself right and to make the situation right. Everybody's worthy
Of each other.
Yeah, everybody's worthy of themselves. Everybody's worthy of love. Everybody's worthy of whatever. Everybody's good enough.
Everybody is good enough. And you know what? I'm sorry for cutting you off. You know what? When people say there's no I in team. Well, I gets a bad rap, and I think it's because I gets a bad rap. Well, say in the context of being a team, well, I can't be there for myself and be the best version of myself.
What good is
the team? So how can I be? You can't be we before I.
Yeah. And I is a very selfish letter. I is a very selfish letter. But then again, it's not. When you look at yourself and you say, I need this. I want this. I can do this. I am worth this. That's not selfish. Self-gratification and what's the word for, I forget. Anyways, bad train of thought. When you look at yourself and you, I said self-gratification,
Self-love.
Yeah, self-love and self-compassion are more important and the most selfless thing you can do. Because once you understand and you clarify with yourself all of those things, your life gets better, you're more happy, and you can not only love yourself, but know how to love someone else.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I told her time and time again, after she shared with me this love that the love that she has received from other people that I feel like I can't give her, but then I realized the love other people gave her, that's not the love I'm supposed to give.
Exactly.
And I created this expectation that to meet that I guess that standard of loving her in the way that someone else does. I'm not them. I am not them. And I said, I don't know how to love a woman. And you know what she told me? She said, that's not true. She said, "Look at the messages you send me. Look at the things you tell me, the things that you tell, the things that the little things you do for me, the things that you say. Just your actions, both your words and your actions speak they're loud and they're clear. And yet, in that moment, I couldn't believe it. It's like I didn't feel like I was enough because I'm comparing myself to someone else.
Yeah.
It's like, and I realized that the role that you choose, the role you want to play in someone else's life, and it's also especially important to understand that just because your role changes doesn't mean that the love and care that you have between each other it changes.
I realized that a little too late. That's what she was trying to say. Nothing changed. It's just a little different. If that makes sense.
I think it makes sense.
The love is there. The love, the caring, everything is there. It's just the title changed. Titles of movies change, but they're still the same movie.
Exactly.
Titles of episodes change, but they're still the same
TV show. Title change, but
don't let the title ruin the show.
That's a brilliant way to put that. Because what doesn't change is the feelings between the two of you. You know what? There are people like Keisha's mom. So on that day, she went to go watch her favorite artist of all time, Gracie Abrams, by herself. And even though she wanted somebody to go with her, I think it was ever more important for her to go by herself so she can have that experience alone with someone who she admires and someone who creates music that talks to her, that speaks to her soul. And I thought I lost my wallet in her house, and I needed to work that night, and I hadn't eaten all day. And I'm like, I can't survive without food. I'm going to be miserable at work. It's going to be difficult to get through that. So I came back to her house, knocked on the door, and I spoke with her mom, and I saw that sometimes, although unintentional, nurture can betray the young. In the sense that when our parents don't know how to cope with their issues, it can scar the young. And I don't know where I was going with that, but
no, what you said makes sense, and it's very true. I read this thing a while ago. It said, "Don't let your scars affect your children. Don't let your trauma become your children's trauma." And so many parents of older generations pass that trauma on to newer ones. But the problem is, the newer ones realize this. The newer parents, the newer people wanting a family are starting to realize that the things that happened to their parents, they projected onto them, and they're trying to work through it and have a better life for their children. It's hard because it wasn't your trauma.
yes,
But you still can control what you do and how you act and how you raise yourself. Because once you turn a certain age and you're on your own and, all of that, no one's raising you. You're raising yourself.
right.
Doesn't matter how old you are. You could be as old as my grandma.
Yeah.
You're still raising yourself until you die. You are controlling yourself until you die.
And I that night, I saw the pain and the scars and the trauma that her mom is repeating, that sticks with her, and it surfaces in her beliefs and in what she says and how she acts. And she told me that all you have is yourself. Because I was asking her, I was like, how do I help Keisha? She said, I don't know. I don't know how to help her. And the reason why I ask that is because I see someone who needs help, and I don't know how to help them. But when her dad walks in, I could feel his anger of seeing me, and before he came in, me and her mom were talking about, you know, her experiences and how she's been hurt, and I just see the cold war between them going on. But if there's anything that hasn't changed, it's the love that they have for each other. While they may not be in love, that love, that constant hasn't necessarily changed. But in all of this, I can see how, as we were saying, a parent's trauma can affect the young, because Keisha doesn't trust men. But and you know what she tells me? She tells me, there's just something about you. And it drives me sick. It's just something about you that...
Are you going to let it drive you insane, or are you going to let it be a positive thing?
I'm going to do what's most...
Just know that thing that they see about you, you don't have to see.
Okay.
You have to accept it. I get told that all the time. I'm just like, you know what I do?
What?
I go, really? Okay. Do I ask what it is? Sometimes. I'm just like, so what is it about me that's so nice, so great? And a lot of the time I just get, I don't know, you're just a good guy. You're just different. You know, that's not a bad thing. Some things you don't need to search for. Some things you just need to accept.
And that's
the problem with a lot of people, is they go searching until it drives them crazy, and it makes them angry, and it makes them sad or depressed. Mm-hmm. Don't go searching for something someone else sees.
It's already there.
Yeah.
It already exists.
You don't need to search for it. It is you.
So, listeners, if I know you heard what he just said, but that is true. And if you don't believe it yourself, which is really important, know that somebody else believes in it for you.
And if we get any girls listening, we're going to have a section for you talking about how you can accept things in a future partner or your current partner. I know we're not that old, we don't have that much experience with it, but I believe that with past experiences and with the trauma that we've had, we can help.
We can help navigate
the men brain.
The men, yeah. And you know what? I'm being honest here. I am sick and tired of people generalizing that all men are toxic, that all men are bad.
No. All men are broken.
That's a good way to put it. And I would like.
They're all broken to an extent. Some more than others. All men are broken. That's why they're mean. That's why they're hurtful. That's why some are, just straight assholes. They weren't always like that. They were broken to be that. When you break something and it they try to put themselves back together. It's not always gold.
You're right.
I read this thing. I think I read it or saw it. One of the two. I think it's in Japan or China or something. When they break a glass bowl, they fix it with gold so that it is better. It's more valuable. It's more appreciated. The problem is, with a lot of men, most men, they are trying to put themselves back together with clay or dirt or I don't know, something that they have no value in, which makes them cold, mean, something like that. The generalization of men being toxic is based on the fact that they were broken to begin with. And that's just a fact. Nowadays, you are born broken. Maybe not right at the beginning.
Right.
But how you're raised, who you have around, who you have to help. The people that try and fix you with gold, to help you fix yourself with gold, are few and far between.
Yes.
And a lot of it's the parents. The parents don't know how to fix you, so they just kind of throw you together and say, there you go, figure it out.
Yeah.
I know that's how my life was. I had to figure it out myself. I'm trying to find my gold, to fix myself and be more valuable to myself. And that's what men nowadays need to do. They need to not just throw together whatever they have. They need to find their gold, their diamond, whatever, to fix themselves and have a better outlook on themselves.
Yes.
I hate that toxic crap.
What is toxicity? What is masculine toxicity?
Toxic masculinity.
Yeah, I don't know what I was. Oh God, you can see where my brain is at, guys.
I think that should be something for the next one.
Okay.
But yeah, to the ladies out there, you don't have to fix the man you are with or you want to be with. Just be there. Help him find the gold to fix himself. Help him find the best thing for him to fix himself.
And with that, and Iron Bearers with that,
we'll be doing another episode here in a minute. I need to figure how to do this crap, for one. A lot of it.
You're telling me.
But yeah, and then the episode after next, then the one after this is going to be about toxic masculinity and how it was made up to hate men.
To hate men, to resent men.
And it's not real. It's just wrong.
And a way for people to suppress what is really going on, to reject and deny what is really going on. And generally speaking, those issues are within ourselves. man or women. Let's strip away that female male thing.
The battle between the two, it shouldn't be there.
There's no battle of the sexes, and with that, we love you guys.